Wow, I thought the Game of the Year awards didn't have a sense of humor. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to my little spiel on the 2024 Game of the Year awards. They just listed the nominations for all the categories. I'm going to shoot a video of me voting for the Game of the Year awards. I'm going to put my picks for who I want to win. Maybe I'll make that a quick little video. Just want to talk about the nominations because these nominations are a joke. Not all the nominations are bad, but there's some really questionable ones, silly ones. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, come on now. So I'm gonna mostly talk about the Game of the Year nominees. There's some bad nominations in other categories, but they're not as bad as the 6 nominees. 4 out of the 6 I think are good. 2 are super questionable. Yes, the nominations were Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Sheldon of the Archery, Balatro, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasio. There's some really good ones in there. Some of my favorite games are on there. Yeah, very well deserved. However, the 2 that I want to talk about is Balatro and Elden Ring. Thing is, the DLC for Elden Ring is really good. It's a phenomenal DLC. It's super challenging, and I found just normal Elden Ring challenging. And the DLC is long. It's really good, and yeah, it's a good game. It's well worth the play if you're a huge Elden Ring fan, like even like myself. I loved Elden Ring, but I don't think you should ever nominate a DLC for Game of the Year. It's the same game, just with extra stuff in it. And it's not a sequel to Elden Ring. It's not Elden Ring 2. It is still Elden Ring. It's just got more stuff in it now. Just like more boss fights and expansions and stuff. It's still the same game. And Elden Ring already won Game of the Year 2 years ago. So nominating it again, and it's the same game just with extra stuff in it, I think that's bullshit. I don't think that's fair. Even though I think the DLC is fantastic. If I included DLC, I think it is one of the best DLCs out there. And yeah, it would be top 5, but it's still a DLC. You don't nominate DLC for Game of the Year. I'm sorry, you just don't. That's why I didn't agree if Cyberpunk's DLC got nominated the year before, and it's the same game. I don't believe in nominating the same game that's already been nominated and won, despite it having more content in it. I just don't think that's very fair. I don't get it. I don't know if this was just a slow year. Yes, it wasn't the best year for games, but there are much more games you could have nominated than just a DLC. So I think that's stupid. I don't know. Maybe because I know Elden Ring just swiped the Game of the Year awards and they deserved it so, but you don't have to keep jerking Elden Ring off. Like, it's fine. You can give some more love to other games and stuff. And Balatro, like, what is this shit? A card game gets nominated for Game of the Year and Game Direction. And I dabbled into Balatro a little bit, and it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a roguelike card game, and you're basically playing poker. It's poker. You're playing poker, but it's through roguelike with levels, boss fights, and everything. It's like different too, and it's a sim strategy sort of game too. Like, so I get nominating this game for like maybe an indie game or sim strategy or a mobile game because you can play on your phone. But nominating for Game of the Year and Game Direction, like, it's poker. Sure, it's different in other aspects, and it is also a roguelite, which is cool, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable, but it's still poker. Poker exists. It's still just a card game. Like, you wouldn't nominate Uno the game for Game of the Year, would you? Like, I can't comprehend why this got nominated. Especially over their games that they could have nominated. For one thing, Silent Hill 2. I haven't even played Silent Hill 2 yet, but I've seen footage and gameplay. It looks great. And yeah, I'm also like eerie on like remakes and remasters being nominated. And yeah, I think it's fine if it's a different game. If like you remake a game and you make it different, like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's got same things as the original, but it's still a different story. It's still a different game. I would still nominate Silent Hill 2 because it's still a much different game than the original game. And also, of course, I gotta address the elephant in the room. One of my favorite games of the year is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. I think that it got nominated for Best Narrative, but it didn't get anything for Game of the Year, Game Direction. I think this is one of the best games of the year. I think it has one of the best stories. I think it has a combination of two of the best characters in the Yakuza series with Ichiban and Kiryu. None of them got nominated for even Best Voice Actor. Like, that game got, like, snubbed for, like, everything. Like, what? Like, it's one of the best fucking games of the year. And people are saying maybe it came out too early in the year, but it still came out in 2024. I don't give a fuck if it came out in the early of 2024. Final Fantasy Rebirth came out early, so I don't give a shit. I think the best game should be nominated for Game of the Year. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth is objectively a better game than Bellatro. And again, Elden Ring's just DLC. I don't think DLC should ever get nominated. So that's, I don't know, those are just such what the fuck nominations. There's also like things like the stupid girl got nominated for Star Wars Outlaws for Voice Actor of the Year. She wasn't even that good. I don't know, like, couldn't get the voice actor nominations for like a Dragon, but gotta get the girl from Star Wars. We got jerk Star Wars off too. And I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. There's just, I would have even given it Helldivers 2, like, fucking a Game of the Year nomination, because that's, like, easily one of the best online multiplayers of the year. Helldivers 2, man, that is such a sick game. And, like, those are games that people will consider some of the best of the year. When the year passes through and we look back, no one's gonna remember Balatro. Like, no one's gonna. And again, people are gonna remember the DLC for Elden Ring, but most people are gonna remember just base Elden Ring and it winning in 2022 for Game of the Year because it was the best game of the year. But no one's gonna remember the DLC being nominated in 2024 because it already won already. And it's not gonna win again. They're not gonna give it a second win. So nominating it was just counterproductive. There are other games. Dragon's Dogma 2 also didn't get nominated. That's a good game. It's a fun RPG fantasy game. It's worthy of a Game of the Year nomination. It got nothing. Zip. So, I don't know what they were smoking with these nominations. I think these are some of the most ridiculous nominations, nominating games like this. And I don't think there's an excuse for it because some people are like, well, it was a slow year. I'm like, no, there are good games. Like Hellblade 2 and Stellar Blade. Like, there are games that came out this year that are worthy of the Game of the Year title and a nomination. But no, they chose a fucking poker game and a DLC, which, what? Like, what? I don't know. I just thought I'd rant about it. I think it's ridiculous, but what are your guys' thoughts and opinions? I'm going to be voting for the Game of the Year, putting my vote in, and I'm also going to be doing my best games of 2024, so look forward to that. And are you just as dumbfounded with these nominations as I am? Come on. What was the biggest snub of this year for Game of the Year? Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.